Good morning, everybody. Thank you all for coming to the City of New London. We welcome you with open arms, and at this point in time, I would like to introduce the Governor of Wisconsin, Mr. Tony Evers.
Thanks so much, Mayor. Well, good morning, everybody, and thanks to the City of New London for hosting us today, and a big thank you to everyone from the Alpaca County Economic Development Association, Goodwill Industries of North Central Wisconsin, and all the outstanding project partners who are here to be with us today. Today, I'm excited to be in New London to announce how we're going to be helping folks get connected to good family-supporting jobs, especially in today's really tight and competitive labor market. Wisconsin's unemployment rate continues to be lower than the national average. It's just under 3%. We have a labor force participation rate that is higher than the national average, and we have more Wisconsinites employed than ever before, with more than 3 million folks employed across our state. And that continues to grow. But as I often like to say, economic development is more than just a number of jobs we create. It's about connecting the dots, which is really just a fancy way to saying we have to see how every challenge facing our state affects the others. During the pandemic, we came face to face with the fact that if parents couldn't find affordable quality health care, they maybe had to leave their jobs and stay at home with the kids. We also know that if folks couldn't find reliable transportation, they couldn't get from home to work. And if communities didn't have enough housing or child care or transportation or other essentials, businesses couldn't bring workers into the communities. That's why last year I announced we were putting $130 million towards finding solutions to help address the state's workforce needs. And round one of that grant program did not disappoint. We provided nearly $60 million for 12 regional projects that will help, for example, help increase healthcare workforce in rural Eau Claire County, expand access to manufacturing job training in Chippewa Valley and central Wisconsin, and support child care services in Greene County and Door County. And last week, I was glad to announce that nearly $70 million of workforce innovation grants is heading out the door. With the second round of investment of nearly $70 million, we're investing in expanding our health care, early childhood education, forestry, and advanced manufacturing workforces, providing new job training and upskilling opportunities, making sure that workers can find a safe, affordable housing close to work, creating scholarships for those going into the field of education, and connecting folks to child care and transportation options so that they can get to work, and so much more in every corner of our state, including this corner, if this is a corner, right here in New London. Glad to announce today that two great organizations will be receiving up to $9.7 million for projects that support increased workforce transportation options and programs engaged to underserved and unserved populations in the workforce. And that includes $3.2 million for the Alpaca County Economic Development Association for a program that will provide 24/7 access to local options to arrange for transportation for work, and the ability to coordinate up to 26,000 rides for folks each year. I'm also glad to be here to announce Goodwill Industries of North Central Wisconsin will receive up to $6.5 million to support a collaborative program with Fox Valley Technical College and Rawhide Youth Services to prepare over 200 trainers to use trauma-informed approaches to workforce education and services to engage up to 460 individuals from unserved and underserved populations in the local workforce. Now, the grantees will speak more about this in just a minute, but folks, these are exactly the type of projects we were thinking of when we created this program. And together, they'll make a significant impact on the viability of the local workforce throughout this region and the state beyond. We created this program to encourage communities to work together to develop cutting-edge, long-term solutions, because there is no one-size-fits-all solution to workforce challenges communities are facing. And the folks working here on the ground know it the best. They know what their needs are the best. Our state faced workforce challenges long before this pandemic and long before I became governor, but with smart projects, strong partnerships, and strategic investments like this, I'm glad to say we're working to reverse that trend. So with that, again, congratulations to the Alpaca County Economic Development Association, Goodwill Industries of North Central Wisconsin, and all the project partners involved in these programs and these grant awards today. Now, I'd like to hand it over to our grant recipients to share some of their thoughts about their programs. We're going to start with Jeff Murkowski, Executive Director, Alpaca County Economic Development Corporation. Take it away, Jeff. It's all yours.
Great, thank you very much. Well, on behalf of the Alpaca County Economic Development Corporation Board of Directors, thank you very much to Governor Evers, Secretary Hughes, and Secretary Paychek. Also, on behalf of the community partners like the city's Transportation Commission, New London, Alpaca, Clintonville Chamber of Commerce, Lutheran Social Services, Phoenix Mobility Rising, New London Theta Care Chat Team, East Central Regional Planning Commission, and the UWM Extension Office, all of who have been working on this project for quite a few years. And it was just good timing. We put it together for the Workforce Innovation Grant. We'd also like to say thank you on behalf of the corporate partners, partners like Tyson Foods, Alpaca Foundry, Walker Forge, Colby Windows, Amcor, and many others. We thank you very much. This project will provide a new option for affordable workforce transportation in Alpaca County, where currently there are very little rideshare programs, a few taxi services, but there's no mass transit in the county. We know that there are many workers that do not have affordable or dependable transportation, lack a car, or even lack a driver's license. And that's been seen as a barrier to getting people, to getting employees into the businesses and retained in those businesses. One local company identified that 1/3 of their new employee terminations were due to a lack of transportation. So those are the programs that we're trying to move forward and get more people into the workforce. Through a mobility as a service model, we'll work with the existing transportation resources, and then additional, we'll add a micro transit system in the county, providing nearly 66,000 rides over the first 3 years. Also providing a 24/7 dispatching to cover all shifts of employment. Also, we'll be covering the need for employees to pick up and drop off children at daycare to and from work. So we feel that's a big connection that we need to make with the employment. We're confident that this program will support the county businesses by improving access to employees, which we've been told is the #1 need for our businesses and industries in Alpaca County. Thank you very much. I'd like to introduce Secretary Paychek of the Department of Workforce Development.
Thank you so much. So I really liked Secretary Paycheck. That was great. I might go with that going forward. But I'm Secretary Amy Pahacek with the Department of Workforce Development, and I just wanted to thank everybody so much for having us here today. I am thrilled to be here with Governor Tony Evers as we celebrate Wisconsin's continued historic economic performance. So you may have seen in the last few weeks, we recently released our latest statewide labor market numbers, and I'm pleased to share, as you may have seen, that Wisconsin continues to break records. In addition to a statewide unemployment rate of just 2.9%, as the governor referenced, Wisconsin now boasts a record number of people employed. Our labor force has increased for the 6th month consecutively, and our labor force participation rate in Wisconsin continues to be a full 4 percentage points higher than the national average. And we know that this is due to Governor Tony Evers' unprecedented investment in workforce training, which is just powering these record-breaking achievements and connecting employers with underutilized talent pools and equipping workers with the skills that they need to achieve their full employment potential. And yet we know more still needs to be done, which is why we're here today. Under the Workforce Innovation Grant Program, the Department of Workforce Development, the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, and the Wisconsin Department of Administration have combined forces to offer our expertise to give regional collaborations grant funding. And these collaborations that we've selected all used innovative thinking, data-driven planning, and are leveraging existing infrastructures to connect the dots for workforce solutions. So the governor, Secretary Hughes, and I, we went around the state and we spoke with job seekers, we spoke with employers, community leaders, businesses, education partners, and we heard that there were barriers still existing in our workforce in our state where folks wanted to enter the workforce but still required access to transportation or mental health care or child care or affordable housing. And that is why the Workforce Innovation Grant has been such a revolutionary idea for our state. It offers tailored solutions to regional issues, and even though we know there are some statewide workforce issues, the tailored approach of allowing these local business collaborations to really target the needs of individual communities has really been proven to enhance our further economic recovery as shown through our record-breaking numbers. For these particular grants that we're here to celebrate today, we know that trauma and mental health conditions have been a barrier to employment, and that partnership to address this has been formed by Fox Valley Technical College, Goodwill Industries, and Rawhide Youth Services. And we are thrilled with their vision for a trauma-informed approach to education and services that people need to land a job and find a career with family-supporting wages. And we also know that there are many employers, employees, and job seekers in rural communities that are still facing the transportation barriers, which we just heard about. And that's why we are also so thrilled with the Alpaca County Economic Development Corporation and their partners to offer that grant award. So to both of our award recipients today, congratulations. Thank you for all of your innovative thinking. We look forward to celebrating with you in the weeks and months to come, all of your success going forward. And now I'm going to turn it over to Chris Hess, who is the CEO of Goodwill Industries of North Central Wisconsin, to hear more about their fantastic mental health program. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for being here today. On behalf of Goodwill of North Central Wisconsin, our board of directors and our partners, Fox Valley Technical College and Rawhide Youth Services, and most importantly, the communities we serve, it's my honor and privilege to say thank you to the governor and the state of Wisconsin for the opportunity to deliver these services under the Workforce Innovation Grant. For over 51 years, our Goodwill in North Central Wisconsin has been on a mission to elevate people by eliminating barriers to employment. And we do this by providing pathways for people who are underserved, underrepresented, and/or disadvantaged who have a goal of building skills to lead to sustained employment and improve financial stability. The establishment of the partnerships with Fox Valley Technical College and Rawhide will allow each of our organizations the opportunity to bring to the table that which we do best, and together build a new model of workforce development that will upskill Wisconsin's workforce. We'll do this by providing cohort-style training that will give individuals the ability to complete education tracks at Fox Valley Technical College in under a year while building employment skills and receiving wraparound case management services that focus on the individual's mental health and well-being all throughout their job readiness and placement process. All of this will be done using a best-in-class trauma-informed approach. We're really excited to begin this work. We're extremely grateful to have these wonderful partners and support here in the state of Wisconsin, and we look forward to seeing lives transformed as people are given the opportunity to elevate through the power of work. So thank you all so much for being here. It's my privilege to invite Secretary Missy Hughes to say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Missy Hughes. I'm Secretary of the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, and I'm so pleased to be here today to help support these two incredible projects that the community and the organizations have come forward with. I'd like to put this into a little bit of context. The Workforce Innovation Grants are part of a full deployment of the CARES Act funding that Wisconsin has received as part of the recovery from the pandemic. And Governor Evers has worked relentlessly in the last period of time to make sure that those funds were deployed strategically to help Wisconsin's economy recover. And indeed, Wisconsin is #1 in the country for deployment of federal dollars to businesses, and #2 in the country for deployment of dollars for economic development. So those are incredible statistics if you think about the different ways that states have needed to deploy those dollars. But here in Wisconsin, we had the opportunity to really get those dollars working and supporting our local economies and our communities. And the Workforce Innovation Grants is an extension of that. This $130 million that we've dedicated to local communities and to organizations to come forward with their ideas. And as Secretary Pachacek said, we traveled around the state to understand what the real challenges were, and we asked groups to collaborate. We asked communities and regions to come together to discuss, if you had the resources, how would you really prioritize the challenges that you're facing? And indeed, many of the communities already had groups working together, plotting, thinking, dreaming, and to be able to say, what if we had the resources, we would do this. And our job has been incredible in coming in and saying, okay, you have these great ideas, here are the resources, and go forth and do these great projects. So the two projects today that are being announced are part of a total of 27 projects that are happening around the state. And as those projects go forward, we are here to help you continue to make those projects successful. The Department of Workforce Development, Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, the full state government is ready to remove barriers, to understand what you're learning, to help share that information, because what we're learning here in New London is something that can be transitioned to La Crosse or to Milwaukee or down to Prairie du Chien. Those lessons you'll learn about teaching about mental health care and about transportation are things that we need to know all around the state. And so we'll be working to share what you learn and to really leverage this investment again and again throughout Wisconsin. I'd only add that the two awards today for transportation and for mental health care are really indicative of the challenges that our employers are facing when it comes to seeing employees in crisis. If your car breaks down and you can't get to work, it is devastating not only to the employee but also to the employer, who is relying on that employee and all the other employees in that workplace to get the job done. And then mental health care and mental health crisis is really a hidden barrier that we often don't talk about, but can really result in someone not being able to come to work or not being able to fully engage when they're there. And so providing that support not only helps our employees, but it helps our employers, and it helps the overall state of Wisconsin. So these two in particular are really exciting. There's going to be really important lessons learned that we need to take to the rest of the state and continue to support Wisconsin's economy. So thank you for doing the work to collaborate and to cooperate and to bring these ideas forward, and we really look forward to working with you. I'm going to turn it back over to Governor Evers to take some questions from the media. Thank you.
Thanks, Missy, and it is a great opportunity for the folks in this part of the state. And I just, as people talked, I just was so pleased and amazed at the numbers of different organizations that are involved. you're talking about government, we're talking about business and the private sector, you're talking about nonprofits, you're talking about things that don't always happen working together. And in this case, in this part of the state, and today, it's happening right here. And so I'm really pleased with these two projects. I know they're going to be successful. Got a lot of good people and organizations and different government entities involved, and it's going to make a difference. So with that, I'll be glad to take any questions the media might have.